Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Roberts. I'm the Capital Projects Manager at Woodland Pond, and this is our weekly update to let you know what's going on with the alterations and additions to the existing campus. I've actually run out of we were having a landscape meeting, and I said, look, I got to go do my broadcast. And after doing this, I'm going to run back into the meeting and get caught up. So I thought that was pretty funny. A lot going on. We had a dining focus group at the beginning of the week, which I think was really good. Not any major, changes to our path for dining, which was really great. But a few, really important comments, mostly to do with the sort of, furniture that we have and some of the, like finer details that we are addressing with the design. One of those things is the landscape and seating outside, which we're developing in real time with the landscape architects, and we'll give you an update on that, as things progress. One of the things here is that in order to keep everyone apprised of, our process, and also to have transparency, we show you the process as it's continuing along. We're not showing you finished product. That's so that we get input from everybody as we go, and we can feed that to the architects and the designers so that they can incorporate that into their design. So sometimes that gets a little, I guess what I'm saying is, and Michelle said this as well, what we're showing you is never a finished product. It's not set in stone. It's open to feedback, and that's why we are, revealing the process as we go, so that everyone's input can be considered. We got straight into, so we're kind of wrapping up the schematic design for the community centre, and we stepped straight into continuing the development of the design for the health centre, and that included a number of the health centre staff so that we could get their involvement. One of the things that we're addressing with the health centre design, and as this continues, I'll share drawings with you. There's been a bit of a shift in the approach, and we are creating more centralized, living and dining areas with community kitchens, so that the residents in the health centre, have more of a community centre that they feel more a part of, and it's to encourage residents to come out of the rooms and enjoy activities and so on in those centralized areas. They'll have more daylight and windows, and so we're really trying to improve that aspect of residents' lives in the health centre. Some of those things mean that we will be displacing some of the rooms there. We're maintaining the number of rooms, the existing number of rooms in the health centre, but that will then mean that we have additions to those spaces, to additions to the actual building envelope. And so next week, we're actually going to have some focus groups which will be looking at the health centre. And that means that the health centre committee will have a focus group, to look at the plans and give us responses. And then the staff as well, who have already seen the plans, some of the senior staff, I've sent those drawings out, so they're able to now give us feedback, and we're getting into the nitty gritty here about how much storage we need and how many support spaces, and do we need extra bathrooms, all that sort of thing. So it's, once again, it's the experience of residents, it's the experience of staff from their day-to-day operations, knowing better than designers what we need to improve, what works at the moment. It's all great feedback. We are now also, continuing on the landscape process and design, and I just want to share with you, a couple of drawings to that end. which I think you'll find pretty interesting. And as I say, this is like in real time because I just stepped out of the meeting. While I was in the meeting, I was sending images, taking photos, sending images to myself so that I could share them with you. Just give me a second here while we do this. Screen one and share. And here's the first image. I'll make this a little bigger. Oh. So this is the developing landscape plan for the wellness and fitness area. And this is, I have this nice big green cursor now. So this is the end of the building at the moment along this line. And where my cursor is at the moment, that's the existing fitness room. So this is the extension here. You can see proposed addition. And what we're creating here is a nice hardscape patio and an adjacent lawn. And the lawn, the area will be flat here where my cursor is going now. And so that's intended to, support the wellness lounge, which is at this end of the building here. For, you can sit outside, but also the idea is that we could also have some, outdoor yoga classes, or just a few people could meet and stretch together, or have that opportunity to use that lawn outside. We'll also have some furniture there so that residents can enjoy this sort of southern aspect. But the path up from the car parking is this nice long path so that it's easily accessible, and that will now enter the building. And sorry, I chopped this off, but enter the building at this point here. And one of the things we discussed in the meeting was that we need to access directly into the wellness and fitness area here. So there'll be a secondary access that will kind of come across where my cursor is now, so that people can go straight into the wellness and fitness area. So, if you live in the cottages, or if you're parking in the car parking down here, you can walk up and then enter the wellness and fitness area without, having to go to the main entry, or, a more remote entry. We're looking at now, actually, one of the things we're talking about is having a water feature, small water feature, which helps with the capture of stormwater, and but also, has a oral amenity as well, in that, it's sort of that sound of trickling water when the windows are open in the wellness lounge. You can hear that. And also when if there are classes, or, you just want to sit outside in the lawn and patio area, there's that masking of, maybe some of the traffic noise and so on by having that sound of water there. So we kind of like that idea very much. Obviously, with the change in grade here, we end up with some more planting opportunities. This would be a lawn here to, support the use of for outdoor exercise and yoga and so on. But these other areas, as we are all around the campus, we're trying to get around away from lawns and use other sort of more native hedges and so on to for those areas. Now I'll just go to another image here. Sorry about this. So this is really interesting because, when you look at this area, that means that we're going to displace the community garden at the moment. So we're looking at different opportunities for the community garden. And one would be raised planters, which would be set on top of, a stone path. And we're still, thinking about, we're going to talk to residents, what height the planters should be, what the configuration should be, how big they should be, whether, you want to work from all sides or just work from one side and be able to reach over. And so this is one area that we're considering. So this is the new fitness addition here, swimming pool here. So it's a little bit of an unused space at the moment. It has a lovely southern aspect. And so we're looking at, all the sorts of opportunities that this presents for this area here. So, and we were also looking at, different types of planters, some where you can get a wheelchair under them. So they're raised with less depth of dirt, but, there's obviously a need for that. And then planters, we kind of feel like this wood planter is possibly a little low for many people, but this is one of the things that we'll discuss with the focus groups, is to figure out, okay, what's the best height and what's the best configuration for people that are using the community garden. So that's pretty exciting too. And then another idea was a more formal kind of layout for the planters. And this is actually the swimming pool here. And so this would be, sort of part of the outlook to the swimming pool. You have a walkway in between that goes to the swimming pool doors. And then a more sort of formal, you have planting on the outside here to screen the raised boxes. And of course, would be there year round. And then on the inside, these areas here, which show the segments, that would be the raised planters, and some of them could have that amenity that we saw in the previous image, where you could get a wheelchair underneath it. So if someone's in a wheelchair, or even if you're in your walker and you want to sit down, you could still work on the planting there, which is I think is pretty cool. We're also, for these areas, we're thinking about having seating to, because people always like to sit down in the community gardens, to encourage that, and also, storage for tools and that sort of thing, so that you have everything that you need when you're working on the community gardens. And these, as I say, these are some of the early ideas that we have for both areas. And then I also want to share with you another image, which is this one. Once again, this is in the area that I showed you, the first one was. It creates also a nice outlook, not just from the swimming pool, but also from the fitness center, where there will be equipment here. And so this is a sort of one more formal than the first image I showed, but once again, there's a border of grasses and shrubs and so on around the perimeter, and a nice pathway in. And then these would be the raised beds on the exterior here. And then possibly on the interior, although we've also discussed this might be a little bit lower so that it could have permanent planting for year round, still to be discussed with the people that use the community garden. But these are some of the areas or the concepts that are in development at the moment, and I think they're really promising. I encourage you again to shoot me an email, give me a call, and share any of your thoughts in response to what I've shared with you today. Stop me. People love to stop me when I'm walking around and talk to me. I love to hear your input. All right. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.